This presentation is related to the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations. Why do we need to study the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations? It is because without a thorough understanding about the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations, we would not be able to appreciate the importance of these two civilizations on the subsequent development of human beings. Now, so let's start our journey. You may wonder why the picture of this newly discovered virus will be included in the first slide of this presentation. I guess that many of you would know that this virus is known as the 2019 novel coronavirus. However, how is this virus related with our discussion today? Now, our discussion today is the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations, and actually, the name of this virus, coronavirus, comes from the Latin word corona, which means the crown or halo. The Latin language was originally spoken by small groups of people living along the lower Tiber River, and this language spread with the increase of the Roman power. The language was first used throughout Italy and then throughout most of Western and Southern Europe, and it also spread to other parts of the world, say for example the Central and Western Mediterranean coastal regions of Africa. Now, therefore, we can tell from this piece of information that the ancient Romans were once very powerful and they were able to dominate a large part of the world, or at least a large part of Europe and some parts of Africa. Now, as they were so powerful, therefore their civilization must be able to make an impact on subsequent civilizations. Now, if you want to know more about the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations, you can surely refer to different references, and one reference which you can refer to must be your textbook, textbook 1B. Now, you can take a look at the reference pages in your textbook 1B, page 17, 30 to 37, and 55 to 66. You may be able to learn more about the details of the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations. Now, if you do not want to refer to the textbook in the meantime, you may also refer to the 4-page handout which we have prepared for you. This handout is a summary which tries to match the different treasures of the ancient Greek and Roman civilizations and the daily life of ancient Romans with the subjects that you are studying at the school now. Now, let's take a look at the handout which we have prepared for you. Now, here is the handout. In this handout, you can find a table made up of 5 columns: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. In this column, which is the column on the left, you will be able to identify the subjects that you are studying at the school now, which are the 2 languages and English literature, mathematics, integrated science, the 2 histories, geography, ethics and religious studies, physical education, music and visual arts, and here are the aspects. Now, why do we need to include other aspects in this table? Actually, other aspects are matched with these areas, and we will explain it shortly. Now, the ancient Greeks and Romans made lots of accomplishments in different areas. As they had so many accomplishments, the author of the textbook would think that they can present these achievements in different areas so that you can better handle the information. And the area of language and literature can surely be matched with the language subjects as well as literature. And the ancient Greeks and Romans made some discovery in mathematics and numbers, so you can definitely link this up with your mathematics. And they had also made some scientific discoveries which include some discovery in physics and medicine, so this can be connected with integrated science. Well, they also make some historical studies, so it can be linked with the 2 histories which you are now studying at school. Now, The ancient Greeks and Romans also have their calendar. They have also made some discovery in the area of astronomy. They also know something about geography. So these are linked with the subject of geography at your school. They had also their own religion, and there are also some famous ancient Greek philosophers. Now, religion and philosophy can be linked with the study of ethics and religious studies, as religion and philosophy would usually touch upon values. And sports surely can be related to physical education. Architecture and art must be related to music and visual arts. Now, as I have said just now, the authors of our textbook aim at presenting the different achievements of the ancient Greeks and Romans in different areas. They group these achievements under different categories, under different area or different aspects, because they want you to handle the information easily. However, we think that it will be very difficult for you to remember these different dimensions, and then under these different dimensions there will be different achievements. It may be very difficult for you to handle. So we decide to match these different dimensions which the author has brought up with different subjects, as you must be able to know the names of the subjects better. Now, if you find therefore, I would say that if you find the study of these many subjects very interesting, very enjoyable, you should thank the ancient Greeks and ancient Romans, because they have made so many discoveries. However, if you find it a burden, then you know that the people which you should blame would be the ancient Greeks and Romans, as they made so many discoveries and achievements. Now, here, there are 4 areas: government, law, towns, entertainment, which cannot be matched with any subjects or any single subject at your school. Certainly, in the for the area of government, we could say that ethics and religious studies, or maybe history, would be dealing with something concerning the government. And so maybe the subject of ethics and religious studies will touch upon a little bit about the law. However, we must admit that in the secondary school, there is no subject that specializes in the study of government and law. However, when you graduate from YN College Kowloon and you enter the universities, you may be able to identify some subject discipline that would be related to the study of government and law, say for example, political science and the law faculty, something like that. For town planning, for example, I guess you may touch upon something relating to the town planning in your study of geography. However, I am not very sure if there is any single discipline at the universities that touch upon this area. I may need to do some more research on that. As for entertainment, well, I guess there would not be any subject in the school that would specialize in the study of entertainment. Now, since that there are no single subjects specializing in the study of these 4 areas in the secondary school, therefore we group it under the other aspects. Sorry for that. Life is not so perfect. Now, these 2 columns would provide you with the details of the ancient Greece and Roman achievements in all these areas. And finally, here, as we have said that the study of the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations would help us to appreciate the importance of these 2 civilizations on the development of human history. Therefore, we have to bring up a column which provides you with such information. Now, and here this is the influence of Greco-Roman civilization on subsequent times and modern days. So, let's stop here and we go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Now, I think the remaining part of this video would be dealing with the ancient Greek and Roman achievements in the area of language and literature, because I do not want to produce a very long video. Now, when we talk about the ancient Greek achievements in the area of language and literature, we will surely look at the achievement in alphabet. The ancient Greeks have developed their own alphabet. The alphabet which the ancient Greeks have developed was not only used by them. The ancient Romans also used the Greek alphabet, and the Greek alphabet then became the basis of English and other European languages. And the symbols and some symbols used in mathematics and physics also come from the Greek alphabet. And in fact, the word alphabet also comes from the first two Greek letters, alpha and beta. Now, with alphabets, you can form or produce some words which you can use for writing stories, writing argumentative essays, and then there would be some good writers that can produce some writings, or that can produce some masterpieces, which we are still studying now. One great ancient Greek writer was a poet. His name was Homer. Now, Homer was a great Greek poet who wrote two poems on the Trojan Wars. The two poems which he wrote were Iliad and Odyssey. Now, these two poems, as I have said, were related to the Trojan War. They provide us with some information about this war, which we will study in greater details in our later discussion. Other than Homer, there was another ancient Greek writer who wrote a lot of fables, and his name was Aesop. Now, his fables, together with the poems written by Homer, were the important works in the Greek literature. Other than that, we can also find some Greek myths. The Greek myths will also find works of literature which many people are still enjoying today. Now, the ancient Greeks also loved to watch plays in open-air theaters. They watched two kinds of plays. The first type was tragedy. Tragedies would refer to those theatrical productions like plays or movies that are sad and serious. Usually when you watch these tragedies, you will be unhappy. And then the ancient Greeks also enjoy comedies. By comedies, it would refer to those films, movies, or TV programs whatsoever, which are produced with the intention to make you laugh. So these were the two main kinds of the Greek plays which the ancient Greeks enjoyed. Now, we have already talked about the ancient Greek achievements in the area of language and literature, so we will turn to look at the Roman achievements in this area. Actually, the Romans used the Greek alphabet, but they changed some of them. Just like the Roman achievements in other areas, they would inherit some of the Greek achievements, and then they would try to modify some of them. They may make improvement to some of these achievements, but they in general, we can say that the Romans learned a lot from the Greek culture, and then they make good use of it, and they may modify some of the Greek achievements. And the ancient Romans spoke and wrote Latin. The Latin language was used all over the empire and by the Catholic Church. And during the Middle Ages, if you are educated, you must be able to read and write Latin. Okay, we have already looked at the achievements made by the ancient Greeks and Romans in the areas of language and literature. So we have to examine how their achievements in language and literature would affect us nowadays. Now, as you can read from this piece of slide, the first point, the Greek poems, fables, and myths are still inspiring writers today. Now, do we have any proof or evidence for that? Now, you may take a look at this picture. This is a poster produced by this theater company, which aimed at promoting one of their plays, the Odyssey. The Odyssey, as we have learned just now, was written by the ancient Greek poet Homer. Now, we can find that nowadays there are still theater companies producing plays based on the ancient Greek writings. So we can then conclude that some of the Greek poems, fables, or even myths will still be inspiring some of our writers today. And the Latins used by the Romans also became the basis of many modern European languages like English, French, and Italians. Now, I do not want to go deep into that. You may refer to this web link for the reading about the ancient Greek and Latin influence on our modern English language. Certainly, you must have learned some Latin abbreviations in English, and say for example in the first term you learn about AD, which means Anno Domini, and then you would also be able to identify that some of the Latin abbreviations are also used by us in modern days. Say for example AM, PM, where's the cursor? Yes, it's here. AM, PM, RIP, okay, here, for example, etc. That is okay. Now, so you can be able to learn from this slide that there are many abbreviations that we are still using in English today. That means when we try to identify the impact of the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations on our civilization nowadays, actually it's very easy for us to identify tons of impact of the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations. The study of the impact of the treasures of ancient Greek and Roman civilizations on our modern society nowadays is not something remote. We can be able to identify many examples in different areas. Now, just now we have pointed out that the ancient Greek myths are still inspiring us nowadays, and if you want to know more information about the ancient Greek myth, you can refer to some YouTube videos or maybe some information on the internet. And certainly this is also another book which you may refer to in order to gain a better understanding about the ancient Greek myth. And okay, now, we have already talked about the ancient Greek and Roman achievements in the area of language and literature. As I have said, we would like to keep the video short so that you will not find the video so boring. So maybe I stop here, and in the next video, we'll be talking about the ancient Greek and Roman achievements in the area of mathematics and science and in other areas. So see you next time. Thank you.